Let alone that a staggering number of retail stores closed their businesses in 2019. Now throw in the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020, and the new normal most likely will include millions of small businesses closing permanently in the next few months. While some states began to allow certain businesses to reopen in May 2020, they immediately faced daunting challenges, like labor shortages, wondering if their customers will still patronize their stores and restaurants, and restrictions on the number of occupants allowed to enter and customer distance restrictions. Some experts think it could take a very long time, if ever, for customers to throng back to brick and mortar stores and restaurants due to continuing health safety concerns as well as frustration over restrictions and waiting times. A CNBC poll in April 2020 found that nearly 7.5 million small businesses will be at risk of closing if the pandemic persists for several months, or if the public is panicked enough not to patronize their stores and services like they once did. A survey by Main Street America found that 2/3 of entrepreneurs say they may have to shut their businesses forever if disruptions continue for up to 5 months. It also said more than 30% are at risk of closing if the status quo persists for only 2 months. The news is even worse for U.S. restaurants. The National Restaurant Association predicted in early 2020 that up to 1 in 5 restaurants in the U.S. could permanently close because of the pandemic and its after effects. They also said roughly 3% of restaurants in the U.S. have already closed permanently since the start of the pandemic. If those figures are accurate, that means that 30,000 restaurants have already relented in 2020. There are an estimated 1 million restaurants in the U.S. If 1 in 5 restaurants actually close in the next several months, that may mean that 200,000 locations could permanently go out of business. The U.S. restaurant industry has an employment of 15.6 million people. In late April 2020, the U.S. Congress passed a $349 billion loan program for small businesses, titled the Paycheck Protection Program. It was meant to help small businesses survive the COVID-19 pandemic, to pay their employees and to pay their rent. However, there were immediate concerns that some mom-and-pop stores could be squeezed out. Independent contractors and the self-employed were not eligible to apply for the small business loans until after every big restaurant and hotel chain were able to apply first. This overwhelmed the banks with too many applications, and after the bigger small businesses got their funding approvals, the money quickly started running out. Veronique, a research fellow at George Mason University, said, "When we look at who benefited from the stimulus package, we're going to see that it was skewed towards bigger small businesses, not really small stores." Hopefully, many small businesses will survive and come back to fuel again the U.S. economy. But this virus and the media and the public's panic is like nothing else we've ever seen. Will payrolls be met? Will rents be made? Will customers return? The rest of 2020 is indeed going to be a very interesting year. From Indiana, this is H.A. Graves.